Well, hello and welcome to my channel, Mary Bourne ND, and welcome to Gardening with Granny. This is going to be a year in review. I hope you follow along with me. You know, in 2022, I made some garden goals. Many of you probably did too. So this kind of helps me see where I am, what I need to adjust, maybe pat myself on the back, who knows. But there were three major goals that I wanted to accomplish in 2023. And number one was grow enough tomatoes that I could can and use for the products and recipes that I wanted in the entire year of 2023. When I went to buy tomatoes in 2022, they, first of all, you couldn't buy anything bigger than a peck. You couldn't buy a bushel of anything, at least in my area. I don't know if that was true in your area, but tomatoes were pretty hard to find last year. So that was top of my list. I must have started 20 different types of tomatoes, and I learned a lot from that too. What I want to grow for 2024, what really worked for me. So that in itself was a huge lesson. Number two, I wanted to be able to pick usable apples. We have a Granny Smith apple tree. We've had it for close to 35 years. So it's a sizable tree. And I didn't know much about pruning or just keeping the tree healthy. And every year we pick up tons of wormy apples from the tree as it drops them. So that was goal number two. Number three is because I'm 80, I can't grow food in the ground anymore. It's just too difficult up and down and being on my knees for any length of time. So I wanted to grow more garden space, have more garden space. So let's check to see how I did with my goals. Now, first of all, this is goal number, well, not even on the list, but goal number one is I always wanted to grow sweet peas. I thought and still think they are a beautiful flower. And I successfully grew this color and a beautiful lavender color. And as I exited from my porch area in the back onto my deck, there's a pot with gorgeous growing sweet peas. However, I also grew the purple bell vine and started it from seed. I did all the right things, but it just never developed into a flower. The vine grew, but it never developed into a flower. So let's see here. So 2022, we planted garlic, and the harvest was not that good. The bulbs turned out very dry and small. And I realized that the bed I grew it in does not get rainfall. It's just situated where it doesn't get rain. And we watered it, but garlic needs a lot of water. So I've changed the place where I now grow garlic, and hopefully 2024 will be a better season for this. So in 2023, we did seed starting, winter sowing, and there are videos on this. We had great success in most areas. I had enough seeds started that I shared with a couple of friends and my sister, and they grew lots of wonderful food from the seeds I started. And I didn't have any fungus gnats and no die off. So I think that was a huge achievement in starting my seeds. Um, for the most part, um, as I worked them into bigger pots and moved them into my porch area, it's a covered porch area. And the next step is outside. They transisted very well. So, on a sad note, we lost our beautiful cherry tree. This cherry tree was here when my husband and I moved here 56 years ago. And we've had wonderful cherries off of it. When we moved, it was small enough that we could actually cover it with bird netting. Then, of course, it got too big. Parts of it died off, fell, got smaller. It evolved. And through the years, we've enjoyed it. One of my husband's favorite preserves is cherry. So we will miss it a great deal. I think it was due to the drought. We had almost 2 months without water. And normally this area has a sprinkler system, but it broke in early spring. And we couldn't get anybody out to trench and rebuild another sprinkling system until, gosh, it had to be July. So, so a lot of trees suffered. There were enough cherries off the tree that I could give my husband his last year of cherry preserves. So, but on a success note, oh my goodness, if you've been following me at all, you've seen Jessica's tree, this gorgeous blood red maple, Japanese maple. It is gorgeous all the time, gorgeous. It affords us the most beautiful look. It's as you drive in and you look toward the tree, it is banked by some wonderful evergreen as well as these tall tulip poplars. And so it's this gorgeous red against all this green. It's just a fabulous sight. So glad we planted that 26 years ago. Other successes were this is the third year for my black lace elderberry. We did get elderberries off of it. I will be making an elderberry and a bunch of other herbs that I gathered. I'll be making a tonic that I can take every day to keep my immune system up and benefit me for my health. Also, the nasturtium that I started from seed was gorgeous. It draped over the edge of this little garden bed for a couple of months. I mean, it was really beautiful, and I love that variegated leaf. Another success was our celery. I grow celery in a grow bag, and it does fabulous. We start with using the leaves that come up, and you can see that by October, there was still some beautiful, juicy, healthy stalks. So one of the other things I wanted to do was get more garden area. Well, this is the what I call the elderberry patch, because we have two standard elderberries. We have a blackleaf elderberry, and we also have a goji berry bush. These have been struggling for a very long time because there are critters that cross over the chain link fence. Well, we finally put in some chicken wire against that fence, and we feel that the problem is solved. And you can see that we're doing the no-dig method in creating that garden. Now, as I mentioned, I don't want to grow food in the flower bed or in a ground bed because it's just too hard. But I don't mind perennials being in that bed. So then I thought, okay, was it the year of the tomato? We had tons of wonderful tomatoes. I was shoving them in the freezer. I was cooking them down. I made wonderful tomato sauce. It was wonderful. And I have videos on many of these. We freeze dried it. We made powder out of it. Was a base for vegetable soup that I freeze dried. I made a tomato soup with it, chunk tomatoes. So we have enough tomato products for quite some time. So here I am. I don't like seeds and skin, but I don't like those messy seed separators where you slosh it all over. I don't do that much that that I want to invest in that kind of a mess or pay that much for attachments. So this works very well for me. I also will scrape those seeds and skin together and dehydrate them and make a paste out of it. It works great as a thickener and just adds some bulk to it. More successes. There we are, the chain link fence. You can see here that we added this chicken wire because we have either a rabbit or something. Last year in 2022, we caught 2 raccoons, 2 groundhogs, and a possum. And yeah, we decided, okay, this year, that's it, we're done. It ate every time my gladiolas would get to this height, they would gnaw down to here. So it might be rabbits, I don't know. But right now, it has that chicken wire, and we're hoping for the best on that. This particular sunflower was amazing. I did not start that from seed, but I gathered seeds. So next year, I'm going to have more of these multi-branching sunflowers. It was delightful. Another beautiful thumbs up was our entrance garden. We put in Supertunia bubblegum and Mini Vista yellow, and it was gorgeous for months. But on the downside, we had an awful time keeping out the thistle. If you've ever dealt with thistle, not only is it hard, you cannot get it because it comes up and you never get the main plant. It's all offshoots of this plant. So you do the best you can at pulling them. For years, I had a cover, and I would put holes in it, and that was horrible. I had the hardest time because dirt would come up on top of it and things would grow. It was awful. So we just kept amending the soil, hoping that why we have the thistle is maybe some kind of nutrient deficiency. And by amending it, we can either slow or stop the thistle from coming up. But in this bed, we also have beautiful daisies, Rebecca, and gorgeous deep dark mums. So this is our entrance bed, and it gives joy for people that pass by, as well as those come to visit us. So then I thought, is this year of the grape? My grapevines, I only have one established grapevine and an immature 4-year-old grapevine. But they provided us with so much grape juice. I still have some in the freezer. My granddaughter Jessica came over. We made grape jelly together. So that was lots of fun. My granddaughter Sarah wanted to be here, but unfortunately her job prevented it. We made enough for gifts. Myself, because I love grape jelly. And so I thought maybe, hey, it's the year of the grape. It almost surpassed the tomatoes, but they were a pretty close tie. But wait, there's more. My apple tree. Oh my goodness. Check this one off the list. Last year, we invested $900 and got the tree trimmed. There were parts of the tree that were eliminated that were this big, limbs and things that are causing, there's still not enough breathing space from what I know now about trimming and pruning. But look at these apples. They're organic, remember, but oh my goodness, we've made pies, we've made streusel, we've made applesauce, cranberry apple relish. We made a pineapple apple relish. Oh my goodness. We have already, well, I say we. By the way, if you're liking this video, give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate it, and subscribe. I say we, but here's the guy that did all the work, my husband. He has picked 20 gallons of apples. And look at this tree. Here we are in November, and there's tons of apples still on that tree. But it's like, I've still got a 5-gallon bucket plus stuff in the freezer. I've freeze dried it. I've given it away as gifts. It's difficult. I've also dehydrated. I made a video on the comparison between freeze-dried and dehydrated apples to see which I like the most. I hope you look through some of my gardening videos. For the most part, I think they can be helpful and beneficial, that you will enjoy them, and give me some comments. I'd love to hear from you on your wins. What did you learn this year? And what are you not going to grow next year? Or what are you going to grow next year? So I want you to have a wonderful and healthy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for viewing, and I'll see you in the next video.